for all the fucking men that say,
have you ever thought maybe you're the problem?
have you ever shut the fuck up in your entire fucking life? Have you ever thought that maybe you're the problem?
Guys, welcome to Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. There's been a couple of videos that have been going viral. One of them is about, would women rather be in the woods with a bear or a man? And a lot of the women are choosing a bear because I guess they want to either A, they're dumb and they think that bears are fuzzy and cuddly and they're not dangerous. Or B, they're virtue signaling because it's more popular to say they'd rather be in the woods with a bear than a man because men are so toxic and awful. And then there's something else that's going around, and it's women are just hating on men because that's what everybody else is doing. If you had told me a few years ago, and several years ago, maybe not a few, but several years ago, women just hate men because it's popular and they think it's funny and it's cool and it gets some clicks and attention, I'd say, I don't know about that. I don't think so. Where's my I don't think so?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
I'd say I don't think so. I don't know as I believe that. Now I totally believe it. Because it either, again, stupid or liar. Which is it? Are women stupid or are they liars? Now I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and I'm calling them liars. Now, but perhaps they're stupid. Hey, I'm just saying. So going viral, I'm gonna go down through this here. This first caught my attention because I saw a picture of this on Twitter and it was going viral. And it's a group of dudes or people or whatever talking over here, and it said, and a woman in pink hair saying, "I choose the bear," and a guy going, "Okay, thumbs up, whatever." And then they go back to talking, ignoring her, and she says, "Stay mad, misogynist." The other one I saw was this one, same pink hair. "I'd rather be alone in the woods with a bear than a strange man." And the guy's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And then they go back to ignoring her. I said, why are these popular? Where is this stemming from? So like all things, I go to the internet, like all of us do, and from Know Your Meme, man or bear in the woods question. This was added just 5 days ago. And they say, a man or a bear in the woods question, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear, refers to a hypothetical question offering a choice between being stuck in the woods with a random man or a bear. Stemming from a viral TikTok by user @callmebkbk, the question was further promoted by a street interview by Screenshot HQ in April of 2024, with an apparent majority of women responding that they would rather choose a bear in the hypothetical situation. The question spawned viral reactions and debates on social media, with users arguing over the validity of both options and about gender relations. They say they give the origin here, which is a TikTok post, which is fine. I'm going to play the video on the right here, okay? And for those of you watching, it's the same as always. It's the same as always. Women that are the loudest against men and how men inappropriately look at them or touch them or comment on them or whistle at them or what. Always the women that complain the most about that are the women that you look at and you know no men are whistling at them, catcalling them, asking them for their number or giving them a hassle. It's always the ugly women that are saying it happens to them the most. We know this isn't true. But see, by saying it's happened to them all the time, they can pretend to have the same problem the pretty girls do. Thus, lying or just being stupid and virtue signaling for the attention. I want you to listen to this gal, but most importantly, for those of you that are just listening, you get my point. She's not exactly easy on the eyes. But listen to what she says versus how she looks. I gotta unmute it.
A comment, and the comment basically said, like, you can tell me that a woman would be less intimidated by a bear than a man. And honestly, I immediately thought, no, I'd much rather face a bear while I'm alone in the woods than a man while I'm alone in the woods. Like, objectively, a crazy thought. Like, crazy thought. And my immediate rationalization for that thought is a bear can be reasoned with, which is the craziest thing I've ever thought. but it's true. When you're facing a bear that might want to maul you, there are protocols in place. You can wave your arms and yell at the bear to let the bear know that you know it's there, and they generally won't attack you. And if a bear is attacking you, you can use bear spray or even punch them in the nose, and that gives you a pretty good chance of the bear stopping even momentarily from mauling you. We don't have that privilege with men. If a man has made the conscious decision that he wants to take sexual gratification from your body willingly or unwillingly, and he has decided to assault you or rape you, you cannot rationalize with him. In my experience and in women in my life, those men cannot be rationalized with, okay? You can't, and even violence can't stop them. There's photos of men who rape women, and there's scratches, deep lacerations along their face. Their eyes have been almost stabbed out. Their dicks have been chopped off. And they still continue to try to assault these women. Like, it's insane, but it's true. Men who have made the conscious decision to rape a woman cannot be reasoned with like a wild animal can be reasoned with. It's crazy.
Stupid or a liar? Which is it? You know, yes, there are men like that. Women, though, talk like it is statistically probable that a random man in the woods is going to be like that. Now, granted, I know some areas in this country where dudes probably would be like that. But in comparison, have you ever seen a bear attack? Now, for fun, I was going to pull up a video and show it to you guys. But you know something? A lot of people are a little sensitive about watching animals be consumed and watching. But it was I just did a quick YouTube search, and it was a grizzly bear dragging a 1,200 pound moose. It had just bitten into its back and was dragging this moose into the woods while the moose was still alive and kicking. Okay? So you're going to tell me that if a 1,400-pound moose can't get away, your 135-pound soaking wet body is going to be fine. Yeah, you can see pictures of men going, bear, yelling and shouting. But you know what those men have a lot of times? They have the little long-range hole punchers that if that didn't work. And then the other thing I thought was funny is there's a lot of videos where people go to bed in their tents and their sleeping bags in a hammock, and a bear just wanders up on them and decides, I'm going to take a bite. I'm going to just start eating dinner while the person is still alive and or awake, and they're screaming. There was one instance where a girl could not get away, and the bear gripped her leg and decided to start eating dinner. And she's screaming and pulling, and she can't get away. She goes into shock. She picks up her phone and calls her mother and starts saying goodbye. And there's stuff out there. And by the end of it, she's saying goodbye to her mom, and she says, "It doesn't hurt anymore. I love you. I'm getting sleepy now." Because she was, that was it. These women genuinely believe they'd rather be with a random guy named Ted in the woods than a bear. Are they stupid or are they a liar? I don't think these women are all that stupid. But what it is it's very fashionable. It's very click-worthy. It's very popular. It's oh, you go, girl. Female empowerment. You hate on men. And all these women, if men really did go away, they would know instantly. There's no more oil. There's no more gasoline. There's no more, if plumbing has a problem, there's no more plumbing. There's no more electricity. There's no more power line workers. There's no more coal miners. There's no more sanitation. The trash is going to gather outside your house. There's no more food because the majority of farmers are men or men that have families on the farm. The world would literally collapse. Now, what would happen if women disappeared? Yeah, we'd have some challenges, but men would step up. Men have been educators before. They can teach. Men have been nurses. During wars and conflicts in the past, it was mostly men that were, and I'm not talking about like the latest one, but you go back to like the Civil War in 1843, I think. 1863. Gosh, now I feel bad because my history. I think it was 1863. If you look, who's holding down the guy and putting a leather strap in his mouth while Doc with a bone saw is taking off his leg? It's another dude. It's another soldier, or it's another doctor. We were fine right up until, I don't know, the last 100 years when women got all into everything. We'll just go back to the way things were and we'll be fine. Has there ever been a point where women are fine without men? No, because they can't and or won't do a lot of the work. They say the spread in March 2024, it goes viral, blah, blah, blah. And here's more videos. I'm not going to play them. You guys get the idea of that. But this one says, it's truly devastating that so many women collectively agreed they would rather come across a bear while alone in the woods as opposed to coming across a man. When I leave this earth, my body in the woods, the wolves will be gentler than any man. Any man, guys. A 400-pound wolf is gentler than any man. It's not okay that women don't even feel safe when expiring in the woods. Stupid or a liar, which is it? And they have more and more and more videos, and this has sparked a really, even for me as a dude, this starts making me really angry, genuinely angry. Because it's castigating all men as bad, all men as evil, all men as people that want to take advantage of women. And there are so many men that try to do the right thing. There are so many men that try to, hold up society. And when I looked into this, if you look at the bear sizes and their power and their strength and everything, like a full standing polar bear is 10 feet tall. But even a small the smallest bear on this list, even the smallest one, which is a panda bear. I did a search just for fun on YouTube, and a panda bear grabbed a lady in its enclosure, and it bit her finger off and started going to town on her. It's right here on YouTube. So even the very smallest bear against a woman, the bear's going to start clipping off fingers and things. Like, don't tell me men are worse. But it's not just the bear thing, right? It's all things in general. This is such an insufferable woman. I even made a post about this. I'm like, you know what? Drop this lady in South Chicago. Drop this lady in Palestine. Drop this lady in Iran. Drop this lady in Turkey. Drop this lady in some areas of India. Drop her in Oakland at 2 a.m. in the morning in certain areas. And she's going to find out the truth. But it's fashionable. It's fashionable to hate on men, and especially ironically, white men. Let's listen to Miss Dingbat here. Is she stupid or is she a liar?
We are talking specifically about white men. And I'm just going to say it. I'm unapologetically going to say it. White men are the most dangerous species in the entire fucking world to women.
Let me ask you, does she honestly believe this, guys? Does she honestly believe this? Because you can look at crime statistics here in the United States or many other places. Look at the per capita versus everything. And I'm not disparaging my brothers out there. But some of you guys got some pretty rough neighborhoods. Now, granted, I'm sure there's some hillbillies in the hills of West Virginia that would, I don't know, carve her up and eat her like a ham sandwich. I'm sure there's some pretty great. But, when you look in inner cities and some of the rough areas, those tend to be the minorities. And those are the most dangerous. And all I have to do is point to Southside Chicago as an example. Some of these communities need help. Let me just put it there. They got a problem. But she's going to go out here and just say, hey, your average white dude is more dangerous than any other group out there. Now, do you believe that? Like, if I was going to take her and drop her off in Manhattan at a block in Manhattan at 2 a.m. in the morning. Actually, I've been to Manhattan in the evening. Since it's a business district, there's not much going on. It's kind of quiet. Do you think she'd feel safer if I took her to the Bronx at 2 a.m. and dropped her off on a corner? Or would she feel safer if I took her to the Hamptons during a house party or a graduation party that's got 200 white men there? Like, you see what I'm saying? Or would she feel safer if I dropped her off in South Chicago at 2 a.m.? Like, which one? Because if she genuinely feels she'd be safer in South Chicago, I'll buy her a plane ticket. Like, I'll get her down there. Although, more than likely, statistically, she won't be coming back. Is she really that stupid, or is she just lying for attention and lying for clicks? I think we know the answer to that.
And to everyone else. So we can reframe, right? Men want to be like, not all men. It's always a white man that fucking says that, by the way. Not all men are like that. Okay, so let's reframe the question. Would you rather be trapped in the woods with a white man or a black man? A white man or an Arab man? A white man or an Asian man? A white man or an Italian man? This one might be tough. A white man or a Frenchman?
A Frenchman is white. An Italian is white, at least here statistically in the United States. So she, rather than being in the woods with me, she would rather be in the woods with a random person from, what other countries did she say? An Arab man. Now, if the Arab was from Saudi Arabia or the UAE, we'd call that a tie. If that Arab man was from, I don't know, Egypt or Libya or Syria or Jordan good luck to you, lady.
White men are the problem. You are who we are all afraid of. And if you all do not start fucking changing your shit, we're gonna come fucking eat you. Bye.
What are we supposed to change? Who is she talking about? What am I supposed to change? I literally do nothing. I think so many of you guys are like, I don't even interact with women. I avoid women at all costs. But that's not good enough for them. But see, she doesn't really feel that way. I guarantee you, every dude that she's dated is probably a ginger like her without a soul. Because obviously she's a ginger, so she's soulless. Because, do you think she's going and specifically looking to date Arab dudes and black dudes? Maybe. I doubt it. This is the funny thing where you guys are the awful. And then you look at her dating history or her profile, and we probably know who it's all full of. Unfortunately, nowhere in here does she have her TikTok or her information. So I can't even go look at her social media. But which is he, stupid or liar? It's the same thing over and over. I get another crazy lady. Guys, who's really the dangerous one? Who's the ones losing their mind? Who's the one losing their mind? I'm not going to play this all the way through. This lady is insane. And are they really this crazy? Or are they just lying, like the thumbnail says? Are they just lying and being stupid because it's popular? I think it's the latter. I genuinely do.
For all the fucking men that say,
Have you ever thought maybe you're the problem?
have you ever shut the fuck up in your entire fucking life? Have you ever thought that maybe you're the problem? Did you know, sir, that if all men were fucking obliterated right fucking now, that women would feel so much safer and so much happier on Earth? Did you? Did you ever stop to think that maybe being emotionally unavailable is the fucking problem?
Dude, okay, instead of stupid or liar, insane or liar. I'm going with insane on this one, obviously. What is going on? And when men, normal, average, everyday dudes see this, they're like, oh my God. You want to know why guys aren't talking to anybody? You know why guys aren't dating? You know why guys aren't randomly trying to hook up with girls? You want to know why guys aren't on dating apps? Why? Do you know why guys are only... See, she gets so angry. And I could play the rest of the video. It's a minute 11 of her being weird as hell. I'm not going to subject you to the same mind F that I had to listen to. But what she says is the men that she dates, she puts them on a pedestal, but they're unavailable. And all they do is bang and leave. She puts them on a pedestal. She loves them, and all they do is bang and leave. Would you date a woman like this? Would you stay with a woman like this? Or if she's at the club and she got all the makeup on and the push-up this and the squeeze in this and she's looking at least doable after 12 beers, how many guys are like, I'll tap it for like a week just for, I gotta have a receptacle. I gotta have an outflow for my testosterone and my angst against the world. So yeah, I'll use her as a disposable toy. And then they're like, you're crazy. Goodbye. And they ghost. And it happens over and over and over and over and over again. And who's the bad guy out of all this? Honestly, it's pretty easy to look at dudes and say, the dudes that are players and taking advantage of women, they're the bad guys. And maybe that's fair. But you know something else? There's a lot of guys that would like a girlfriend. There's a lot of guys that would love to love a good woman. And then they meet some of the women that are out there today and they say, wow. Slept with her 3 days and she's planning the marriage, or she's screaming at me and she's going nuts. This gal has the crazy eyes in almost every portion of this video. Can you imagine that face screaming at you while you're in the car because you didn't take her because she's hangry or you didn't take her to the right coffee shop? Can you blame men? But the question that really has to run through your mind is, are they being genuine at this point? Are they just getting attention? This is a totally separate topic, but I do want to mention this in here. These are American students that are all bowing over, and they're getting on their knees, and it looks like they're doing the call to prayer. This is an American campus. This is at a college. Now, for those of you that are Muslim, for those of you that are Middle Eastern, don't you find this blasphemous that they're pretending and they're faking? They're doing this LARPing to try to fit in, to show that they really care. But I guarantee you right now, the pink Karens and the blue-haired Mimis you tell them now that they have restriction on their food and they can't date, most of the way they date. There is no they thems when it comes to this religion, and we're not all about the LG HD TV, and that's all got to go away. And by the way, put this over your head and cover your face, and you can't drive, and you can't speak to anybody. And do you think these kids are like that? No, they're the exact opposite of that. They're the female empowered, entitled ones. But what are they doing? This is mockery. They're faking it. They're pretending to care. They're liars, is what they are. And why are they doing it? Because everybody else is. And they want to fit in. They want to seem like they're part of the pack. This dude calls it out. This is from a Spitfire, dog right girl on Twitter, on X. And she calls it out correctly. She posted this. And so she draws attention to this correctly. Listen to this guy being interviewed on a college campus. The question to him is, do you think the majority of college students, are they pretending or are they actually believing this stuff? I muted that. Oops.
Know exactly what they're protesting.
Let me try that again.
Do you think the majority of these college students honestly know exactly what they're protesting for?
The majority of these college students are here on a government loan. They are studying something unbelievably stupid. They are basically being bilked for money. They have no idea. It's the next cool thing to do. The average person, I think, at these protests is the kid that isn't cool or good looking enough to be invited to a house party. So because they're not invited to a house party, they make their own, which is out here, which is why what happens when they summon these people with a flyer, 10,000 of them show up. These are 10,000 people with nowhere else to be.
I think he's actually right. Because when you look at many of the people that are at these things, the men have negative testosterone levels. They talk with lisps. They're limp-wristed. They're wearing belly shirts. They got green hair. These are not masculine men. They're men that are basically pretending to be women to hopefully get laid and have a little action with the fat cows that are at these things. These are the bottom 10%, 15% of men that have no value to anybody. And so they follow along with these weak-ass feminists, hoping to curry some favor so they can get maybe just a whiff of that ham sandwich. That's all they care about. And if you don't believe me, watch some of these guys when they're talking. They're effeminate. They're horrible. They're male feminists. And these women are basing the view of men and the world based on those sniveling cowards and on the real men that they want to sleep with that just pump and dump them. That's their view of the world. The worst, absolute grossest top 15 or bottom 15% of men, and the 10% of men that all women want, that if she has a nice pair of Hooters and looks good in some board shorts, he'll plow her and then never call her again. That is where women are getting, they don't see the rest of us. We're invisible to them. They only see the bottom 15% of them because they're in classes with them, or they're circling around them like vultures waiting for a peck at the corpse that is their grossness. That's what society has become. For those of you on YouTube, I'm going to play this last segment, and I'm going to have a little bit of a rant. You don't get to see it because there's words that they don't allow me to say, and there's topics I can't say. You don't get to see that point. But for the rest of you on Rumble and locals, hang in there. We're going to talk about this.